When my family visited China, we spent a week in the mountains of Guizhou province, visiting an impoverished remote village. Wooden huts were crammed together, and chickens and stray, matted dogs ran freely in the dirt roads. We walked in front of hand-dug moats that housed hulking water buffalo, the prized possession of many village families to be showcased at the biggest event of the year, an annual water buffalo fighting festival. Many men were in the rice paddies in the surrounding mountains, farming for the village's livelihood. One woman invited us into her home, a small hut shared by two families. She showed us a large bucket filled with dark liquid by the front door. She dipped her fingers in, stirring the rich, glistening, handmade indigo ink. I was struck by this family's happiness despite the simplicity of their lives and their detachment from luxury taken for granted in more prosperous areas. I met her 4-year-old daughter, a bright-eyed girl who clutched her mother's skirt, peering out at us while her mother played pipa, a traditional Chinese instrument, and sang in the dialect of her ethnic minority, the Dong people. Their singing is a world-class intangible cultural heritage according to UNESCO. I couldn't help but compare my life with the life of that girl. My childhood was filled with music and opportunity, while she had music, but lacked access to the educational opportunities to move out of poverty. I reminisced about my elementary school days, when I began playing music at Cranberry Landing, an assisted living home, or old folks' home, near my house. I must have sounded less than stellar as I squeaked songs out on the violin and played the piano without any pedals because my feet only went halfway to the ground. But a few of the regulars came to chat with me afterward because of my cuteness factor. At that point, I hadn't realized that I had begun a lifetime of commitment to community service. When we moved, I reached out to Heathwood Assisted Living, another old folks' home. There, residents told me I reminded them of their own children playing in orchestras. They shared stories about their travels to Africa and Europe, encouraging me to travel and be open-minded. When one resident's health took a turn for the worse and she moved to hospice care, I visited her with my violin. We laughed about our unlikely friendship, given the 80-year gap between us. I grew as I understood the power of community service and the joy and opportunity it brings to others. Heathwood grew as well, giving me an opportunity to play another show each month and to witness the proven power of music to delay memory loss. It is wonderful to see the residents' faces light up with recognition when they see me carry my violin into the memory care wing. As a result of their gratitude, they voted me the youngest Rochester Business Journal Volunteer of the Year. We sing happy birthday to all the residents, and they joke about having just turned 21 and finally being allowed to drink. My gratitude inspired me to expand my experience with community service in hopes of bettering lives on an international level. Thinking about the little girl from the village in China, I reached out to the Overseas China Education Foundation, a Houston-based charity organization meant to improve educational access in China. With enthusiastic support from my high school, we raised enough to provide aid to 3 girls to complete their high school education and possibly enter college, potentially helping their families move out of poverty. I see serving underprivileged communities as one of my most prominent interests, and even a calling, which I plan to continue pursuing.
Yeah.